Thanks for listening to LTG Radio, the Leon Thomas Group Radio Network. It's now time for NRG This Week. NRG stands for Network Referral Group. To learn more about NRG, go to their website, NRG.Online. It's now time for another episode of NRG This Week.
Hey, everybody. Good afternoon, October 16th, 2024, Wednesday. And it's time for another issue of NRG This Week. This is Mike Weiner. I am the CEO of Network Referral Group. Leon Thomas, my partner here, is not going to be here today. So we say hi to Leon. I'm going to be a solo act. And just real quick update, NRG.Online is our website. We have a new website coming in January, and I'm very excited about it. It's also going to have NRG University, which is our educational arm. I'll be doing tutorial videos for new members. And we're also going to have a store where you can buy like shirts and mugs and things like that. We are a full service networking organization committed to helping you grow your business. When you come to your first meeting, you get 3 referrals. And then once you become a member, I blow your phone up with 23 referrals. I've been doing this, so it'll be 25 years at the end of the year, and I love what I do. I do everything based off a law of attraction, serving people, helping people manifest their goals, attitude of gratitude. Today, I'm very excited to announce that we have Lorraine Harden. She is in our Iowa group, and she's a relatively new member, been with me just over a month, and she is a coach. And I'm going to bring Lorraine in, and we're going to have a nice conversation with Lorraine. So, Lorraine, welcome to NRG This Week.
Hi, Mike. Thanks for having me on. I'm super excited to be here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm excited to have you here. You know, Lorraine, you should take it as a compliment. I've had folks with me for years, and they haven't made it this far at NRG This Week. So consider yourself fortunate. Some of the other folks in your group, Gene and Terry, they both have been on. And I was thinking the other day when I saw you, like, I've got to have Lorraine on. I know, Lorraine, you came to me through Terry with Legal Shield in our Iowa group. Take 2 or 3 minutes. Tell everybody, the viewing audience that's watching now, and this will be recorded as well. It'll be on NRG's YouTube channel. Take 2 or 3 minutes. Talk about what you do, Lorraine.
So thanks, Mike. And I do feel privileged to be able to be on this show. And I've heard a lot of great things from some of the other members about it. So thank you again. And what I do is I help organizations that have between $2 and $100 million in revenue, which equates to about 10 to 250 employees. And I help them and their leadership team really clarify their vision, simplify their vision. I help them execute on that vision. I am their accountability partner for the execution. And I also help them with team health because, as we all know, sometimes leadership teams aren't as healthy as they need to be in order to achieve the goals. And I've been doing this for about 7 years. Absolutely love it. And just enjoy serving my clients and seeing them succeed.
Awesome. Awesome. I love that description. I've been thinking about this. I was thinking about this morning, what I wanted to ask you that's different. And I remember when we met and we were doing the follow-up after the meeting and you joined immediately and I blew your phone up. 2 million to 100 million. Do you coach differently when they're around 2 or 3 million versus if they're 80 to 100 million? Or is the concept the same, but just on a larger scale?
The concept is the same, and it is a larger scale. Some of the needs are a little bit different. So if they're around $2 million, they typically don't have management levels within the organization. And so I'm working with a smaller group of leaders. And quite honestly, it's a little bit easier to roll out our entrepreneurial operating system, or EOS, in a smaller organization like that. But if it's a larger organization, they'll tend to have some management levels. And so we go through a process of bringing the managers on board in addition to the owners and leaders of the organization. But the concept is the same, the tools are
Okay.
the same, and it's just a matter of getting more people onboarded.
Now, there's an interesting word you used 2 minutes ago, healthy. And I know you're not talking about carbs and fats and protein and things like that. You talk about the culture or the management team healthy. What is your biggest challenge when you say healthy? What does that really represent in a culture? Is it management? Is it business? Is it educational? And what do you do to help the company become more healthy?
Yes, so we talk to the organizations and the leaders about they're smart. They wouldn't be at that leadership table or they wouldn't own a business if they weren't really smart. And so we know that they have that component. And so what we work on is, okay, how can you be healthier as a team? And it really starts out with helping them become very vulnerable with each other and having that vulnerability based trust, which really means that we're all human and we all have a lot of things that we're really great at and we have some things that we definitely need to improve. And so as an individual contributor to that team, I need to understand what I contribute and where I have some gaps. And so we really help people become much more vulnerable with each other so that they're willing to admit when maybe there's a mistake, they're willing to talk about issues in the company. And as you know, if you have more people solving an issue, you'll tend to get a better result, a better decision. And so it's really more about allowing people an opportunity to know each other better and to gain that true trust so that they can be vulnerable.
You've used a couple of keywords that really resonated with me: accountability and vulnerability. And I can see where if they become vulnerable, each of them as a collaborative team, kind of like with NRG, they're going to be able to bounce ideas off of each other, recognize when there's weakness, right? And
Yep,
then be able to take the company to a new level.
right. I mean, Mike, you have the pinball exercise as part of NRG. And
Right.
so when we're looking at, we keep an issues list. So the teams that I work with, they keep an issues list. And if they're trying to resolve an issue, it really is a lot like pinball from the perspective of you want everyone to contribute. You want everyone to get their ideas and their thoughts out on the table. And as a team, then we need to be respectful and treat them with dignity and make sure that everyone is heard. And ultimately, then we can make the best decision, which is going to create more revenue, create more profits for the company, and everyone wins.
Absolutely, absolutely. And for those of you watching, pinball, the term that Lorraine is using, it stands for power partners, which are industries that refer you to your end client. The I in pinball is industries. And I have people talk about the last four industries they sold, and then industries they're trying to get into, and the N is named accounts, so specific companies. So just for those of you watching, that's an exercise that we put Lorraine through when she first visited NRG, and we gave her three names, and based on the pinball, then I was able to know which 23 people to refer to her. So, Lorraine, we've got one more question, then we're going to go to a commercial break. Obviously, without mentioning the name of the company, what has been one of your biggest successes? And if you could kind of quantify that or qualify it in revenue and growth, maybe taking a company that was struggling and all of a sudden in 1 year you turn them around, what would you say would be one of your biggest success stories or testimonials for you helping a company? And what did that look like?
Yeah, so I love these stories. So thanks for that question. Uh,
Absolutely.
this this particular one is a smaller organization, a couple $1 million in revenue. They really had some profit issues. They weren't getting the profit out of the organization that they were looking to get. And one of their services they were outsourcing. So we spent some time and figured out that if they actually purchased that equipment and provided the service themselves, that they would increase their gross margins dramatically. And so, working with them, they made the decision to purchase that equipment. In the situation, the capital outlay was not huge, so it made the decision a little bit easier too. But so now what we're seeing is that their gross margins have increased from the high 50s to high 60%. And so you can see that is a huge lever in order to be able to increase the bottom line, because all of that just fell right to the bottom line. So love that story. I work best with leaders who are growth mindset and who are really looking to do what it takes in order to get their business to the next level. And in this situation, the owner is exactly that. She's very growth mindset, and just looking to do what's right for the company and her customers and team members. So that's a really fun one. To increase the net margin, the gross margins and net margins by that much is pretty fun.
That's awesome. I love that story, Lorraine. So we are here at NRG this week talking with Lorraine Harden, who is a relatively new NRG member. We're going to continue our conversation with Lorraine. We're going to talk about how that success made her feel. We're going to get her testimonial about NRG. She's been with me a short time, and she's already been starting to visit some other groups, which I was really tickled when you jumped on some other ones. I think you were on Colorado on Monday.
Yep.
And we will be right back. We're going to take a commercial break now, and then we'll be back to talk with Lorraine more. So some of the interns here did some great commercials, so take a look.
Baked by Brianna has been your Baltimore hometown bakery since 1969. Located in Ruxton Plaza, Baked by Brianna. Visit bakedbybrianna.io.
At Rod's Car Repairs, we work on all cars, old cars, new cars, and your car. Car Repairs by Rod.io.
Well, hi, everybody. This is your announcer, Biff Bergman, speaking for Farmer John. Farmer John Luncheon Sausage and Farmer John Luncheon Meat. Either way, Farmer John is easternmost in flavor and westernmost in taste. You can purchase all Farmer John products at your tri-state area, Mike's Meat Market. Go to mikesmeatmarket.com. Mike's Meat Market and Farmer John. What a double play combination.
Hi, it's Robin from LTG Radio reminding you that the holiday shopping season is just a few months away. But you don't have to wait until December to start your shopping. You can do it now by going to Why Wait? Shop Now. .biz. That's why wait. Shop now. .biz. There's no need to wait. Go to why wait. Shop now. .biz. Start now on that Christmas shopping list. And now, back to more LTG Radio.
I'm Leon Thomas with the Leon Thomas Group. Podcast, virtual events, webinars, streaming shows, and so much more. We want to be your partner in all things virtual.
Hey, everybody. Mike Weiner here, NRG this week. If you want to reach out to me to learn more about NRG, you can reach out on my cell. Texting is probably my most preferred way. It's 443-756-9656. If you want to email me, it's Mike at networkreferralgroup.com. And the website is NRG.Online. We will have a new website coming out January 1. Holly Holiday is going to be doing that. And we're going to have the NRG University, and we're going to have some coaches on there. Look for Lorraine to have something on there as well. Lorraine, you and I'll talk more about that. The university is going to start with tutorial videos from me for new folks. And then for the existing folks, it's going to have things like, what if you hit a wall in NRG? What do you do? What are the questions? Who do you talk to? You can obviously come to me, but who else? We've got Lori, who's our director of networking. We've got people on our staff that can help. So, Lorraine, going to go back to you. When you help a client, what I know it's got to be exhilarating for you. What is the feeling that comes over? I can see it by your smile. What is the feeling that comes over you when they come back to you and go, Lorraine, you won't believe what happened. We did blah, 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 blah. Our profits increased by 60% or 600%. How does that make you feel?
It's an incredible feeling, as you can imagine, because, being a small business owner is not very easy. It's a pretty lonely seat at times. And as a business coach with them, I make a lot of really strong relationships, and I care about what happens to the clients and to their businesses and their families. And so when I hear something, or I meet with my clients quarterly, and so when we do our quarterly review and I see that financials are improving, they're getting all the right people in the right seats, and everything's just clicking along, it is very, very rewarding. And so, the other part of it is things are not always 100% um, wonderful, right? So there are issues and things that come up. The other thing that I find a lot of reward in is helping the client solve issues and really asking them the probing questions just to get them to think, because they know the answers. It's just that sometimes, we kind of get in our own little world, and we're not really taking a step back to look at the forest for the trees. And so part of my role is to really ask the probing questions to get people to think about things a little bit differently. And then they're
Mhm.
able to solve issues and move on and increase revenue, improve customer satisfaction, and also improve the culture for their team members.
Culture is really important. With NRG, it's really all about one big family. We're all here to help each other. It doesn't matter your background, man, woman, Jews, Christian, Muslim. I don't really care about any of that stuff. We're under one NRG banner, and that banner is to be upbeat and positive, empowering, uplifting. And, the rare cases I see something that's not there, I usually address it with the person. And I learned from my law of attraction coach to ask someone their permission before I give them advice to make sure they're
Mhm.
open. And, I usually say something, hey, if I had something that could help your business, are you open to it? And 99% of the time they say sure, because they want to grow, they want to learn, but it's the approach, it's the way we approach them. If we just come firing at them, like I can fire pinball, but firing this, you need to change this, and you need to talk louder, and you need to come up for air, and no rambling, all that stuff, whatever it is. So you and I have known each other a short time. I remember our conversation really well. I always kid with people. When I was younger, I studied baseball cards, and now I study relationships and how people relate. And my big high is connecting people and them coming back and going, Mike, I met with so and so, and I got my first sale, I got my first deal. I had someone just text me the other day. They met with a new member, and that member is now helping to introduce them. What would you say to the people that are watching this either now or in the future? They're thinking about a networking group. Maybe they have had a bad experience in another one. What would be your advice to them about NRG as far as checking a meeting out in your spin on NRG in your short time you've been? I know you haven't been there 2 months. It's probably 5 or 6 weeks, I think. So what would you say to somebody considering looking at NRG?
Well, first off, 100% consider it, because I learned of it from a person that's in a chamber group that I'm part of, and someone who I respect and so on. And so he mentioned that I should take a look. And so I joined a meeting one week. And what Mike says about the culture being open, being, basically welcoming, and being upbeat and positive is 100% true. I mean, I felt very welcome from the very beginning, and continue to feel very welcome as I add other Zoom meetings that I attend and new groups that I'm attending and all of those kinds of things. And the other amazing thing to me is Mike did exactly what he said. And so you can expect him to keep his word and he'll do what he says. But when he blew up my phone with the 23 additional leads, and I reached out to those people, by far the majority, about 75% of them, reached out back out to me immediately. And so I have not been part of any sort of a networking group where that kind of response happens. And so one of the things that we live core values for EOS is help first. And so the thing that I've found about NRG is that it is absolutely aligned with that core value of help first. Because as we know, if we help each other and, it all comes back around. So, and I found
Absolutely.
that, and I'm making some not only business relationships, but there are some folks in there that I'm like, wow, I wish we lived closer because I'd really like to just hang out with you. So it's been really, really a lot of fun, and it also has gotten me into gear to do more business development. So even if it's someone that's been on my list for a while and I haven't reached out to them, the ease and flow that we have with NRG, it flows over into any other contacts and business development opportunities that I've been working on. So highly recommend. It's an hour. Jump on a call, get a feel for it, and I think everything that Mike is saying, you'll find and experience is true.
That was amazing. I got to have you do a separate video testimonial for me because with the new website, we just got our first lifetime NRG member, and that means they never pay again. It's a $5,000 value, and I've just had a company commit to that, and I'm going to have them on the show here. I've just got to set him up with a date. But Lorraine, I love your testimony. I'd love to have you do a separate video one, and we'll get that on hopefully the existing website, but definitely the new one in January. Because I think one of the things I love about you, Lorraine, and it's not talked about a lot, inflection in your voice, tonality, and so many people do not have that. You definitely, and that was one of the things when I was talking to you after the Zoom, even before you joined, I'm sure I complimented you on that because I don't see that a lot. And I don't think that I'm boring. I use the voice and I inflect and I dramatize and I never want anyone. I don't think anyone's ever walked away. They may not join, but they're not walking away saying Mike Weiner is boring. And I think the same thing with you, Lorraine. They're not walking away saying that Lorraine, she's really boring. I don't think that happens at all. So I appreciate that about you. And it's kind of a lost art. It's really, I think, a lost art. Wouldn't you agree with me?
Yeah, it's when I'm working with my clients and teaching them how to tell the vision to the rest of the organization and that whole storytelling, it's all about storytelling, and it's something that people, you kind of either have it naturally or you need to learn it, or if you don't realize it, you might just go through life and never realize that it could be better if you had that. So I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to take 30 seconds real quick. Leon Thomas, who's usually here with me, he's got an organization called Racquetball Revival, and he helps out students from, I think it's like 8 years old or maybe younger, all the way to adults. And he's working with about 61 plus folks. He works with racquetball, he does other consulting and coaching, and check out the website. It's something that's great. Leon and I go back about 25 years. So we're going to wrap up with Lorraine. I've got one more question for Lorraine, and then we're going to wrap up today. I've really enjoyed talking with you here today, Lorraine, on NRG this week. I want to have you do kind of a wrap up summary. Take 2 minutes. Let's say you're meeting me in an elevator for the first time. You got 2 minutes. Kind of pull it all together in a summary. And I got to say, it's been very engaging having you here today on NRG this week. I got even a better flavor and feel for what you're doing, and it helps me in recommending you. And I want to find some of these companies that do 100 million so that you can coach them and they may consider doing the NRG, the lifetime membership. But take 2 or 3 minutes, Lorraine, kind of summarize what you do, and then we'll wrap there. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're
So,
welcome.
Mike, I'm Lorraine Harden. It's really a pleasure to meet you. And I understand that you own a small business. And so, if you're feeling any of the frustrations of kind of losing control or feeling like you have some people issues, maybe your profit isn't where it needs to be, or possibly you're just feeling like you're overwhelmed and nothing is going quite right. I work with teams, business owners, and their leadership teams who have those frustrations. And through a process called Entrepreneurial Operating System, or EOS, we work through those frustrations with a series of 20 tools. And so I would love to tell you more about that in a deep dive meeting. We have what we call a 90-minute meeting where I would love to give you 90 minutes of my time and walk through all of the components of that model more specifically and see if there's a fit for us to be able to work together.
I love how you did that, because a lot of times they say the person that asks the questions is in control, but if you just start firing questions like, do you feel like you're out of control? Do you feel like it almost puts them on the defensive? So I like it's a little more inner active. And then I love how you wrapped up. Let's see if there's a fit. It's very non-confrontational, non-salesy, which that's a term I think we hear more and more today. And I really like that. So, Lorraine, it has been an absolute pleasure having you here on NRG this week. And I will definitely see you at some of the meetings. We've got a lot more meetings coming up. So, appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. It was great having you.
Thank you, Mike. Have a great rest of
Absolutely.
your week.
Absolutely. So I am Mike Weiner. We're going to wrap up NRG this week. Definitely reach out to me on the cell. Texting is always my favorite friend. 443-756-9656. We will look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great week out there. Remember, you manifest what you're desiring. Don't use the words want, because if you use the word want out to the universe is just going to see you in a state of want. So manifest what you're looking for, write it out on paper, put your goals for the new year down now. I'm in a unit with Raphael with Law of Attraction, and we're actually coaching now in the last 100 days